Good afternoon. First of all, I want to thank the East Ridge High School Band for coming out tonight and today and playing for us. Could we get a round of applause for them? Thank you. So, what an incredible day for East Kentucky and for all of us at the Transportation Cabinet and East Kentuckians. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Mary Westfall Holbrook, and I'm the Chief District Engineer at the Highway Department. I'm told you can't hear me in the back. Can you hear me now? A little bit? Okay. All right. So, it's truly an honor to be part of this momentous occasion today as we open US 460 for the future and for us today. As I was thinking about this event these last couple of days, I thought about all those that have come before us and worked on this project, from the planners to the designers to the truck drivers to the flaggers, the bridge builders, just a host of all different kinds of people that have worked on this project. Someone said today it could be somewhere in the neighborhood of over 10,000 people. I don't know. No one's ever really totaled that up. But I can only imagine. I would like to applaud them for a job well done. Can we get a... We're able to stand here today and celebrate this accomplishment because of their years of dedication, teamwork, preservation, and belief in what this road can do for us. When we do these types of events, I'm always afraid I'm going to leave somebody out, so I just want to thank everybody as a whole. But I do want to just thank a couple of special people that made this part happen today. A couple of months ago, I sat down with my staff, Paxton Weddington, the project manager or the branch manager for construction, and Vince Hayes, section engineer, and Sean Ray of Mountain Enterprises. And they said, when do you want to open this? And of course I said, now. So they said, we'll open it. So they worked hard. I want to thank the Mountain team for really getting out here and pushing, and my Pike County section offices, and Paxton for his leadership to get this open today. Thank you. I know y'all didn't come to hear me speak, but I just got one last thing I want to just sort of, because we're passing this along. This is a legacy that Paxton and John Michael and myself are passing along. So John Michael Johnson has been the project manager. Where are you at, John Michael? There you are. Okay. Everybody knows John Michael. Okay. And then Paxton Weddington, he has been over the construction of this since the beginning. Paxton, raise your hand. There you go. There. But as the chief, I would like to thank them for their leadership, their attention to detail, and their heart for East Kentucky. Thank you, guys. So, but just as a side note, as we finish this as our legacy, we're going to pass it on. So, Timmy Lovin, where are you? Okay, Timmy's our HT superintendent for Shelby, and we're giving you this road to maintain and take care of us future. Thank you. Absolutely. You got it from here. It's yours. Okay. All right, but I also, I would digress if I didn't thank the federal, state, and local leaders, and lots of them will talk today, who've championed this vision throughout the years. Thank you for pushing this project forward and never giving up on the behalf of East Kentuckians. Thank you. So it's truly my honor to welcome to the podium Rocky Atkins. Rocky truly needs no introduction. He's a true East Kentuckian from Sandy Hook who began his career in public eye playing basketball at Morehead State University, where he earned his bachelor's and master's degrees. But at the age of 26, Rocky became a member of the House of Representatives, serving the 99th District for 33 years. Then he went on to be the House Majority Leader for 13 and the Minority Floor Leader for 3. Further, Rocky now serves as the Senate Senior Advisor to the Governor. Thank you, Rocky, and welcome.
Thank you. Well, let me first of all say what a day. I mean, what a day of celebration, a day that people in the mountains have waited for so long. And isn't it really good to see the unbelievable infrastructure investments that are taking place in East Kentucky, and this may be being the champion of all. Another big round of applause for everyone who has played a part in making today become a reality. You know, there's so many people in this crowd to thank for this, and I'm going to do my best to thank everyone that did play a part in this. And there's other speakers back here, I'm sure, that are going to be doing the same. But you know, Karen, 6 years of my legislative career I spent writing the transportation budget, and it happened to be at a time, Karen, when Congressman Rogers happened to be the budget chair at the federal level. And during that time also, there happened to be a governor by the name of Paul Patton. And the reason I mentioned that was in 2002, the first section of this highway is when ground was broken, in 2002. And here we are today to dedicate 17 miles from US 23 to the Virginia line. 17 miles and nearly $800 million that was spent to build this highway. I know of no better place to spend the hard-earned tax dollars of the people of Kentucky and the people of America than to spend it right here in Pike County on a road project that was needed desperately. I think everybody understands how critical this infrastructure project is, this roadway. You know, it's really amazing to me to see that 100 million cubic yards of material was moved to build this highway. And the tallest bridge in Kentucky now is here, the Pond Creek Bridge. And you know, I've heard legislators, Philip, on the House floor in my time of service, talk about Pond Creek. And to be able to talk about really the rich heritage of this region. And you know, this region is a region that helped build America. Amen. This is a region where hard-working coal miners and railroaders helped us win 2 wars that provided the energy resource that created the industrial revolution of this country, which created the strongest middle class ever known to the world. So it's good to see that the investment is coming back to a region of America that helped build America here in Eastern Kentucky.
Amen. Thank you, Rocky.
I think we all understand what this does for the traveling public, the folks that drive our roadways every day, the safety it brings to folks who go from point A to point B, to be able to get to a doctor quicker, to be able to travel wherever it may be that we're going. And it's my understanding that taking away the old road that used to get us to where we're going with the new road, it actually cuts 10 miles off of that trip. Now, if that's not amazing, just think about that. Think about how much time that saves for a family, somebody going to work. Think about how convenient that is for us to have a modern 4-lane highway. But also think about, Governor Patton, the work that was done to complete US 23, a major 4-lane highway. And to see the last segment of the Mountain Parkway from Sagersville to Prestonsburg now under construction, and under construction to be completed, that will tie in with 460, 119, US 23, and now the Mountain Parkway. Folks, opening up our region for economic development, for jobs and industry to come here, is really what this infrastructure is all about as well. So once again, for our region, we see the type of investment that our people have earned, and our people in East Kentucky deserve another big round of applause for that. You know, the impact for generations to come from this investment is going to be tremendous. And I hope you remember where you were today. as we see our children and grandchildren, to bring back hope and opportunity once again to this region. I really want to stop here and brag on the men and women that built this highway. The men and women who, go ahead. Let's give it up for those folks. And you know, JC, some of those folks that started building this highway, they're no longer with us. They're not able to be here today to celebrate with us, but we know they are. We know they are. And really what's moving for me is the hard work that was put into building this nearly $800 million highway. Every inch of this road was built by union skilled trades all the way from US 23 to the Virginia line. So I think that deserves a round of applause. Sometimes we kind of forget about, you know, those people that are the skilled building trades that put forth the effort to do the work. But you know, there's a lot of other work that went into this as well. The folks that designed this highway, this has to be the highlight of your career. To be able to design a highway of this magnitude and to see it become to fruition has to be really special, a special time. And I talked to some of the folks, Mary, that work in your cabinet. Some of the folks, and I'm not going to mention names, that have been there overseeing this project and saw it become a reality now. I'm telling you, their feet's barely touching the ground today because they put their heart and soul into making sure this project was everything it should be and everything they wanted it to be. You know why? Because they live here. Amen. This is who they are, and this is what it's about. So for all of those folks, Mary, that work in your cabinet, that dedicated their time and their effort to make sure this was the kind of highway that our people deserve, I think we owe them an unbelievable round of applause for that effort that was put in on this masterpiece that we're dedicating here today. And so, you know, every transportation cabinet has a boss. And we are so honored to have a Secretary of Transportation. A Secretary of Transportation by the name of Jim Gray. And Jim Gray has overseen the greatest magnitude of infrastructure transportation projects maybe than any other Secretary of Transportation. But he's also had to oversee the 14 declared natural disasters, Karen, that has hit us here across Kentucky, but especially here in East Kentucky. Think about Jim Gray. The last 5 years, over $1 billion in lettings across Kentucky that he's overseeing. And let's talk about the three big ones. The Brent Spence Bridge, the I-69 from Evansville over to Henderson, and yes, folks, the last leg of the Mountain Parkway, a nearly $350 million project that's underway now. So Jim, thank you for your unbelievable effort and your dedication to the people of Kentucky. Give it up for Jim Gray and his effort that he's put forth. So I'd just like to close and say what a unbelievable day for our region of Eastern Kentucky. What an unbelievable time for us to celebrate an opportunity to bring hope and opportunity back to our region once again. And I understand you can drive about 5 miles up this road and come to one of the most beautiful parks in America, the Breaks Interstate Park. And it is. I mean, give it up for the Breaks Interstate Park. And what tourism means to our region, but also what that 1,000 cubic yards, whatever the cubic yards were, you know, Ray Jones, to create all these industrial sites along this highway, a place where industry and business can locate to re-employ and employ our people. And the real drive from our governor, Andy Beshear, and he apologizes he can't be here today. But the governor makes a statement that is one that sticks with me. that we get up every day and our goal and our drive is basically really simple. That the only time anybody should leave any region, regardless of where they live, you know, my home happens to be East Kentucky, and I'm proud of that. But he says the only time anybody should leave any region is because they want to, not because they have to. And that's what today is all about, is building that brighter future for our people here at home, and to make these major investments that make generational change and historical change as we move into the future. And folks, I'm no different than you. I got skin in the game. I got a beautiful wife, 3 beautiful children, but maybe more importantly, 5 beautiful grandchildren. And I want them to have that bright future as we move into the future. And I'm going to conclude with this. And Karen, you carry this back to the congressman. You see state senators, state representatives sitting here, and the congressman's chief of staff. And what you see sitting up here are both Democrats and Republicans. And I'd just like to signify that this road today is not a Democrat or Republican road. It's not a red or blue road. It's not a right or left road. You know what this road is? This road is just all about moving forward for the people of this region and doing it together. So let me just close and say this. I think it's pretty simple. And I think all of us up here have done that very well. When people work together, great things happen. Congratulations to the people of the hills and the mountains of Eastern Kentucky. Thank you all for having me today.
Rocky, thank you, buddy.
Good to see you.
Thank you, Rocky. We are honored to have with us also today the Kentucky Transportation Secretary. Sorry about that. Jim Gray. And Rocky talked about Secretary Gray. Sorry. Secretary Gray has, he was the former mayor of Lexington for 8 years, and then he worked with his family business at the Gray Construction, and he's been with the cabinet now since 2019. I apologize for that. And I'd like for you to welcome my boss and the Secretary of Transportation.
Well, thanks, Mary. Y'all, I wanted to tell you that I have learned something in the last 5 years. One thing, do not follow Rocky Adkins as a speaker. You cannot outdo him. But how about this? Let's give Rocky an amen for those comments and those remarks. Amen. Yes, sir. This is Rocky said it well, and I'm going to remember, though, what Greg Stumbo used to say. He said, Jim, now when you get in front of a crowd, especially on a chilly day or a hot day, remember the 5 B's of public speaking. Be brief, brother, be brief. I'm going to do that. But this is a tremendous day to be in Eastern Kentucky. Governor Patton, I know we're going to hear from you in a minute, but thanks to you and so many other governors along the way, this project has materialized. As Mary said, it's a big day. As Rocky said, it's a big, big day. And this is a masterpiece. I'm going to talk a little bit about it, but this is not just a road project. As Rocky said, it's about opportunity, about bettering the lives of all of us, of all Kentuckians, for generations to come. Let me emphasize that. As Rocky said, today is about building a safer way, a better way for everyone to get to work, to school, to doctors, and grocery stores, to church, and back home, now and always. We would not be here without all of your support. The hard work of our governors, that's plural, the governors. And that's thanks to our legislators up here, past and present. Our federal delegation, Karen, thank you for being here representing Congressman Rogers. And and the FHWA, as Mary said, the Federal Highway Administration, for help with funding, the support of our local judges as well, mayors and districts, add districts, and more. And thanks to our Chief District Engineer, Mary Westfall Holbrook, and our great staff here in District 12. Well, there have been so many over the last 30 years involved in this project. We'd be here until dark if we tried to list them all. But I do know, just like our 460 project manager here, and Mary's already given John Michael Johnson a shout out. John Michael, where are you? You're right over here. That's second shout out, buddy. Who's committed almost his entire career. There you go, Sam. There you go. Yes, ma'am. On the spot. John Michael has committed almost his entire career and his heart to this project, and to construction manager Paxton Weddington and all of his team. Thanks to you, Paxton. They are all deserving of our applause. Now, I also want to recognize, too, all the consultants and the contractors, like David Lindeman of Palmer Engineering. David, where are you? He's been here since the planning days. Was that 1991, David? Close. I'm close. 1991. It takes great partners to build a modern four-lane highway like this, with 22 bridges through the mountains. More than 40 are listed in your program, representing decades of work. And I want to especially thank Mountain Enterprises, Bush and Burchett, and others who helped forge this last link in the $230 million chain. The $230 million, Rocky, is at that last 5 years here, which has been invested in this more than $800 million total project. As Rocky said, these partnerships are a reminder of what we can do when we work together and focus on delivering results for Kentuckians. This has been an enormous project, a transformative project. On behalf of the hundreds of KYTC, the Transportation Cabinet, engineers, administrators, technicians, consultants, and contractors who have worked on it, we are grateful to have played a role in making history happen today. Thank you all.
Thank you, Secretary Gray.
One more time, Mary.
Is that to make me sound better now?
Yes.
Okay, so our next speaker absolutely needs no introduction, but I'll do what I can. He was the Pike County Judge Executive for many years. Then he was a Lieutenant Governor for many years. And then he served as the governor of our great state of Kentucky for 8 years. But most importantly, I think his vision is probably what we're going to remember him best by, because this was his vision. And I just personally want to thank him for pushing for this and pushing us to get this done today. The Honorable Paul Patton.
Thank you, Mary, and this is an especially important day to me, because not only did I have something to do with getting this road built, it's my home, and it makes a lot of a difference. You know, I became governor in December of '95, and not too long after that, I sat in with the Transportation Cabinet Secretary and the Deputy Secretary, Codell, and I said, I want 119 finished before I leave office in 8 years. And it was at least under contract. It wasn't finished, but it was under contract.
It was under contract. All right, good enough.
And I said, I want you to do enough on 460 to make sure somebody finishes it. And that is what is happening today. If you'll remember, and I was talking to Ralph Palmer here a minute ago, when I came into office, there was a debate about how you're going to get it up the river. Displaced too many people. And there was a proposal to do this route across country, across mountains. And I said, let's just go ahead and do the mountain thing, get it over with. And I said, I want you to get that one so far along that somebody will finish it. And you all have done that. And I want to thank Governor Beshear particularly for making the final decisions that made sure this got done. I say this is pretty personal to me. I got the road started, and at least you all got it finished. I want to thank John Michael, who keeps me informed and would take me on a personal tour of the road 2 or 3 different times, and the bridges. This is really a magnificent road, an engineering masterpiece because of the bridges and the mountains and all of that stuff. So I just want to thank all of you for being here, and let's just keep on keeping on. Thank you all.
Thank you, Governor Patton. Okay, so moving along, our next speaker is Representative John Blanton. He represents District 92, which is part of this area, and he also is the chair of the House. Oh, I'm sorry, he's with the House. He's the chair of the Transportation Committee.
Thank you, Mary. It's great to be out here. The secretary talked about following Rocky. How do you follow a legend in East Kentucky like Paul Patton? You know what? Paul has sacrificed his life for all of us to have a better life here in East Kentucky. That has been his vision, his goal, and his dedication. Could we give Governor Patton a round of applause?
Absolutely. Yay, Paul Patton, Judy.
I wasn't in the General Assembly when this vision of Governor Patton's came into fruition, but I was a young rookie trooper running around here in the Post 9 in Pikeville back then. I had dark hair and I was skinny. My, how I have changed. But I have been for the past 9 years a member of the Kentucky House and tried my best along with Senator Wheeler, Representative McCool, Representative Ashley Tackett Lafferty, and Representative Mitch Whitaker to keep his dream alive and see this road completed, because we too are East Kentuckians. This is our home, and we knew the impact that this road would have, not just for Pike County, not just for Virginia, but for the entire region in eastern Kentucky. So we have continued to push forward to see that this dream become a reality that Governor Patton had. And as we honor and we recognize and we celebrate the completion, today I also, we thank transportation employees, we thank the contractors, but I'd also say let's remember those, because no doubt from the time this started in 2002, if I remember correctly, that they broke ground, there's some that's probably worked on this project that's no longer with us. And they too had that vision of someday this road being completed. And so let's remember them on this day as well. But let me say this, for us in the General Assembly that are from the East Kentucky, we have a caucus called the Mountain Caucus that we're members of, and we work together collectively for these type of things. Why? Because we want to see a East Kentucky that continues to improve, get better, and leave something for our children and our grandchildren that follow. So we're seeing US 119 being opened to 23. The Mountain Parkway has been spoken about here today. That Mountain Parkway, I'm sorry, 460, you're correct. I'm in the wrong side of Pike County, aren't I? 460, but I actually sat back there a while ago and I'm thinking, wait a minute, was this the road Jonathan Leonard lost his life on, a trooper, back when I was working the road, but actually that was 119, and that's why that stuck in my mind. But we've got the Mountain Parkway, the final stages as broke ground on from Sayersville to Prestonsburg. We are working in the process right now of making progress and four-laning the Hal Rogers Parkway from I-75 to Hazard. We've got 460, we've got 23, we'll have the Mountain Parkway, we'll have the Hal Rogers Parkway, which, if you don't know, now runs from US 23 in Prestonsburg all the way to London, is now the Hal Rogers Parkway. That means so much for our future here in East Kentucky. The economic impacts is untold, what our children and our grandchildren will be able to benefit from this type of infrastructure that's been put in place. It has truly been a team effort, from governors to legislatures to the transportation cabinet to contractors to architects to engineers. They've all been a part of it. Judge Jones, he helped tremendously in this project when he was in the Senate, and as county judge executive here, he's been a stalwart to continue working and making sure, constantly reminding us, make sure the funding is in there for US 460. Make sure the funding is in there. We've got to get this road completed. So this has truly been a team effort. It's a day to celebrate, and we, as all of us, are Eastern Kentuckians, we should all celebrate this day together for what it not only means for us, but like I said, for generations to come will enjoy the impact of this day. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Blanton. Now I'd like to ask Karen Kelly. She is with U.S. Representative Hal Rogers' office in Washington, and she's going to speak to us. But most importantly, she's a native Pike County.
That's right.
I had to say that.
Thank you.
Am proud of it. Can't forget where we're from. And it is an honor to share the podium with this distinguished group. Governor Patton, this is personal to me too, because I learned to drive on these roads. And I will never forget, thank goodness my father lived long enough to give me driving lessons. And I'm very thankful for that. I was terrified the first time that I drove from Elkhorn City to Harles's Creek, where much of my family's from. And he said, yeah, that's right. And he said, you've got this, because if you can drive here, you can drive anywhere in the country. And I have. It's an honor to be back home in Pike County, especially Elkhorn City, and especially for the best, on behalf of the best congressman in the United States of America, Hal Rogers, the Dean of the U.S. House. I went to work for him in December of '94 in the Pikeville office, answering phones and taking out trash. I was 5. And he gave me opportunity, quite frankly, that I did not know existed, and I will be forever grateful. Out of the nearly $800 million invested in this project, $614 million is federal funding through ARC's Appalachian Highway Development Fund, a critical program that started in 1965 and a fund that Congressman Rogers has fought for and secured funding for over 4 decades. Absolutely. This isn't just another road project. This is another example of how Eastern Kentuckians are making history, remarkable history. This is the type of project that tells our story far better than some of the documentaries that the outsiders have done about us. We're writing a new legacy, one incredible project at a time, proving that there isn't a mountain that we won't and we can't climb. We aren't only changing the physical landscape to create better access to our region, we're changing the landscape of opportunities in the mountains. And I want you to look at this landscape. There is no prettier place in the world. This is a highway to the future for jobs and economic development, tourism. What is possible is just untold. We'll look back 20 years from now, and we will be amazed with the change. There's a lot of footprints along this road. Governor Patton, Congressman Rogers, Philip, I know you've been there for a long time. John, all these legislators. And our state leaders have stuck with us through several administrations, over 3 dozen engineering contractors and consultants. But I hope we never, ever forget the generations of families who gave so much to get us here. Like Rocky said, especially our coal mining families. It's easy to throw a label on this project and let politicians take credit for federal and state funding, but this road was built with hard-earned tax dollars of people who labored and powered this country for generations, and I am thankful to see those dollars come back home. And we owe them a debt of gratitude. And as we celebrate moving forward, we have to remember to look back. And I want to close with a point of personal privilege. My family has roots right here in Dunleary Bottom, where it all began. I grew up on Harless's Creek in Elkhorn City. My family, Julie Farmer, lived in Dunleary Bottom with my pops, Cecil Farmer. And my uncle, before he passed away a few years ago, wrote a poem about growing up here, and I wanted to share that with you today. I was born in Dunleary Bottom, a little place by the railroad track. In my fondest dreams and memories, I sometimes want to travel back. Take me back to Dunleary Bottom, the old coal camp I want to see. I don't want to go beneath the mountain. I just want to sit on Mama's knee. Times were hard in Dunleary Bottom. Dad worked too hard to earn his pay. He started early in the morning and rarely saw the light of day. We bought our food from the commissary. Old Tom worked in the company store. He took company script instead of money and kept the wolf away from our front door. Dad is gone, so is the house on the bottom, and Uncle Tom has passed away. If I went back across the river, I would not know this place today. God bless this region. We stand on the shoulders of giants, and we never, ever need to forget who we are in Eastern Kentucky. God bless you all.
Thank you, Karen. Now I'd like to ask the Pike County Judge Executive Ray Jones to come up, please.
Wow, this is a great day. It's a great day for Pike County. It's a great day for Eastern Kentucky. And there's a lot of people I think that need to be mentioned here. In 2001, like John Blanton said, I was a lot darker and a lot thinner back then, a lot darker hair. And I was a young state senator. I was one of the youngest people ever elected. And I used to get phone calls, usually on Sunday morning. And it would be a deep voice say, "Senator, I need you to come by my house." And it would be Governor Patton. And frequently there would be maps of various projects laid out in his den, and we would discuss them. And this was one project that was on the drawing board. And he always said, if we can get it started and we can make a big enough impact, somebody will have to finish it. And today we're seeing that. Before he left office, he asked Leslie Combs, and this was sometime in 2023, I think we were still in session, or 2003. We were in session. He called Leslie and I to come down. And he said, "I want to talk to you about the US 460 project." He said, there's some things you need to know. And he said, we learned some mistakes that were made on the 119 project. A lot of the refuse sites were not compacted for industrial development. He said, we're going to fix that with US 460. And we did that. So you now have the Pike County Fiscal Court working with Congressman Rogers, the Economic Development Administration, and the legislature. We have now started and are in the process of completing the county's first industrial site with all the infrastructure that we need to bring new businesses to the county tax base. And that is just down here at Wolf Pit. You've also got the Jesse Branch site. It's not control field, but it's a large site that is suitable for economic development. And then the biggest control field site is John Moore Branch, just outside of Elkhorn City. Those sites give us an opportunity to do something that we've never had the opportunity to do, and that is to bring new businesses to Pike County and to help existing businesses grow. We've always been challenged about flat property that can be economically developed with good transportation infrastructure and the water, sewer, and fiber that we need to bring businesses here or help local businesses grow. This road is making that possible. And Governor Patton, let me say this, of all the people involved, Governor Patton made it happen. He absolutely made it happen. And he has been a transformative governor. We've had a lot of good governors. Governor Beshear has done a remarkable job of making sure this happens. Our legislative delegation. And I'm proud over the 18 years that I served in the state senate that we committed hundreds of millions of dollars to this. And the second piece of advice that Governor Patton told Leslie and I, he said, it's up to you after I leave to make sure that this project is funded. And Leslie and I honored that commitment as long as we were there. And last year, a couple years ago, there was an issue with the budget, and I picked the phone up and called my successor, Senator Wheeler, and he went to work with Representative Blanton to make sure that the funding was there to help finish this project. It is truly a remarkable day. But before I conclude, there's a few other people that need to be mentioned. We talked about the contractors, but let me tell you, a couple years ago, I was called to come up to a cookout, I think it was around Thanksgiving, up at the bridge going into Beaver. And the Regional Council of Carpenters were doing some of the work, and they asked me to come up, and there was a young lady, and she maybe 20 years old, and she was welding up on one of those piers, 100 plus feet in the air. Truly remarkable, the men and women who risk so much to make this happen. We've got one of the finest local unions that with more experience in road building here. How many of you here worked on this road? Has anybody worked on it? We've got some hands here. The Steelworkers Local 14581 has done almost all this work and most of the work across eastern Kentucky. The operating engineers worked on this. You had the Indiana, Kentucky Regional Council of Carpenters had men and women that worked on this project. And those people truly made it happen. They worked closely with the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. And I know Gypsy, if Charlie was alive, he would be tickled to death. He would be ecstatic to see this done. But there's one other person I want to mention who I would love to have been able to be here. And that was my friend Leonard Lawson. Leonard Lawson was a true advocate for the roads and transportation infrastructure in eastern Kentucky. He used his political capital and he used his influence to make sure that politicians at every level understood how important it was for the future of eastern Kentucky to build these highways like US 119, US 460, US 23, and the Mountain Parkway. So in conclusion, let me say this. We're going to see jobs coming to Pike County because of this. We're going to see business coming from Virginia because of this. They're going to be coming to Pikeville for health care. They're going to be coming here to shop, and people are going to be coming here to do business. Pike County needed this project. And for everybody that played a role in it, thank you all, and God bless each and every one of you.
Thank you, Judge Jones. Just real quick, I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize the other legislators that are up here. We have Representative Mitch Whitaker, Ashley Tackett Lafferty, Bobby McCool, and then, John Blanton, of course, and then the mayor of Elkhorn City, Nathan Brunt. Thank you all for sharing this with us today. Okay, so as we move to, first of all, I want to thank you all for just hanging in there with us. I know it's a cold day. I'm not sure who ordered the cold day, but it wasn't appreciated. But anyway, we're going to do the ceremony where we're going to mention those bridges and the corridor that have been named. Some have been named for those that have gone on. Huh? Yeah, I know, he's last. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
And I didn't mean, Senator Wheeler, but he'll be the last speaker. I'm sorry. You know I wouldn't forget you. Okay. All right. If I could ask Rocky if you could come over and stand, and Alan, you hold the sign up, and I'll say the family's name. I hate to put you in the rain. The Andy and Mary Carter Bridge. Do we have a family representative? Okay. Could you come up here? Thank you. There's two signs per family. Yeah. Anybody want to come up with them? Yeah, that'd be great. You get a picture? Yeah. It's warm and crowds.
Everybody squeeze in.
get both of them. Thank you. Okay, just stay there. We got more. The Bill Ramey family. Bill Ramey. Oh, the mayor. Come on up here. Are you the Bill Ramey family? Okay. Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm good. They can see my head over there. The Bobby Sloan Memorial Bridge. Bobby Sloan family. Mayor, get in the picture. Eldon and Jolene Mullins family. All right. Out in the front row. Okay, this next one is it's a very special one to our D12 staff. He was one of our inspectors, the Harold Cottle Bridge, Memorial Bridge. Did you get pushed out of the picture? He was one of our inspectors. Oh yeah. Could have been. Could have been. Yeah, I bet it was. Okay, the Philip Epling Memorial Bridge. Philip Epling family, please. Thank you. Okay, the Officer Scotty Hamilton Memorial Bridge. Do what? Oh, Officer Scotty Hamilton Bridge, please. Memorial Bridge. Okay, all right. Oh, you're going to have to hold that one still. Thank you. Okay, Staff Sergeant Dante Price, U.S. Army Gulf War Memorial Bridge. The Dante Price family. Thank you. Terry Taylor Memorial Bridge family, please. Okay, are we ready? You done? Okay. You ready? Okay. The Korean War Veteran Sergeant Thomas Epley Memorial, Pike County Industry and Technology Corridor. Oh, I'm sorry. I asked, nobody answered. Okay, let's try this again. The Korean War Veteran Sergeant Thomas Epley Memorial, Pike County Industry and Technology Corridor. You hear me anyway. Okay, we have one last speaker, Senator Wheeler, on behalf of the family, and then Senator Wheeler. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. I want to thank you all again for coming out here today on this day, and I guess the Lord is, all things considered, giving us pretty good weather. It's not been too bad. We were expecting a deluge, but this project, I guess I inherited it in 2019 when I was elected to be Judge Jones' successor, and it has been a priority of mine, not only for economic development, but for personal reasons as well. My wife, Crystal, grew up on Elkhorn Creek in Elkhorn City. Her dad, Thomas Epling, was born just across the state line in Breaks, Virginia, and spent most of his 91 years in Elkhorn. One of the honors you get as a legislator sometimes is to name state roads after people, and I guess I did take a point of personal privilege to remember my wonderful father-in-law. Thomas was just an outstanding gentleman, a businessman, and most importantly, a patriot and a veteran. He was born on August 20th, 1930, and at the age of 21, he received a letter in the mail, said, congratulations, you will serve your country. You've been volunteered to serve your country, and went down to, I think he said camp, I can't remember the base, but anyway, he didn't have a whole lot of education, grew up on a family farm like most Americans, but when he received the call, he went. And while there, he exemplified the bravery that we've seen through countless generations of Americans, rising in the ranks from a drafted enlistment to a sergeant who was serving as a combat medic. He was wounded multiple times and earned 2 Bronze Stars for valor in his service. He came home and, like many, went to work in Michigan at an auto factory, but the mountains called him back home, and he came back and was a successful coal operator for many years in this area, employed many, many people. He had a great heart for Elkhorn City, a great heart for these mountains, and I know he would be so proud at this moment here today. It is somewhat bittersweet for Crystal and I, since you know, I can tell you as these bridges were going up, he would come to our house 2 or 3 times a week, even when he was in his 90s, and he would just talk about how he was so excited that when this road got completed, you would be able to get from Pikeville to Elkhorn in 20 minutes. And that may be going a little fast, and I'll be honest with you, for his age, he still got down the road pretty good. Indeed, I think his prediction has come true. This road will serve not only as a pathway in for industrial development, I think it's also going to be a pathway to our beautiful region. The Breaks Interstate Park is truly one of the natural wonders of this country. And I think it's not gotten enough exposure to those that don't know about it, because you know, it was always a little bit difficult to get to. And now this road will literally drop you off at the mouth of the Breaks Interstate Park. And we're not done with it yet. I can promise you that myself and these legislators, members of the administration, we're not done with Eastern Kentucky. We're going to continue to invest in this area to make sure that the men and women who call this place home have the same type of opportunities and livelihoods that people have in Central Kentucky and the Golden Triangle. I want to thank Mary and the wonderful workers at Highway District 12. John Michael has just been a constant champion for this project. I want to thank Gypsy and the steel workers and all the men and women who worked on this project, because, you know, the legislature's job in government's kind of to write the check, but writing check, you do have to advocate, but once you get that done, that's kind of the easy part. After that, you really got to do the hard work. And there's been a lot of people that have done hard work on this project. I would like to say that this was kind of a fortuitous event. Not only are we opening this road and dedicating a portion of it in memory of my father-in-law, it's also my wife's birthday today. And so it was a really, and she has always been a champion for Elkhorn City, her home, a place we both love, and a place that we really want to see succeed. And we know it will succeed with leadership like we have, and Mayor Bryant and the people up here. I'm sorry, Governor. I guess the man that began the project, it's fitting that he should decide when it should end. So I'll take a cue from Governor Patton, and thank you all once again for coming out here today. Thank you so much. Thank God for this wonderful day and the wonderful people. And may God bless each and every one of you as you travel home.
If you would like to come out into the road, we're going to stretch the tape and do the official ribbon cutting.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
All right.